Hi guys, welcome to Tech Guide for You. Myself Sidambar, and today I'm going to explain you how to display different drop-down box in PHP website. To run this PHP code, you need to install WAMP Server 2.0 or later version of this software. First, you need to start the Apache and MySQL services. Here you can see the WAMP server icon. It's green symbol. The green indicates that all the Apache and MySQL services are running. You can start by clicking on C drive. This is installation location of WAMP server and WAMP folder, and here WAMP manager.exe. By click on this icon, you can start the services. So we have used jQuery and PHP script to fetch the database values from database. For this, we need to create a database. So I'll explain later this database part, and we'll go to class structure. Here this is a www folder and dependent drop down. This is a folder I have created, and inside this there are 4 files. This one is index.php, dbfunctions.php, dbconfig.php, and getcourses.php. These are all the PHP classes, and index.php contains HTML code. Here I will take example of course types. There are 2 types, technical and non-technical. In technical courses, some Java, C#, .NET, these are all included, and non-technical, some photography and painting, these are the courses included. So I will take it as an example. Okay, this is a MySQL part. So I'll go to PHP localhost and PHP myadmin. Okay, later we'll come to database. We'll go to front end once. How it is. So different drop down. This is my front end. Here we have 2 type of drop down boxes on course type and course name. When you select course type technical, it will display all technical related courses, and when you select non-technical, it will display non-technical related courses. These are the 2 tables in database. I will explain later. Okay, we'll go to database now. Okay, just go to localhost and phpMyAdmin. Here just select your database. So here my database is mytestdb, and here I have 2 tables, courses and course types. I select course type. I'll click on structure. See, this is the structure of the table. Course type ID is the primary key in this table. It is integer and auto increment, and course type is a different type of courses like technical and non-technical. See here the course type, first drop down box, it will display from this table. Okay, I will select courses table now, and I'll click on structure. Here we have 3 columns called course ID, course name, and course type ID. Course type ID is a foreign key of course type table, and course ID is a primary key in this table, and course name is the name of the courses. And here we will click on browse to see the data. Here is the data, and course ID is auto incremented, and course type ID is a foreign key of course types table. Here 1 indicates technical and 2 indicates non-technical. So here technical, we have 4. Here when you click on technical course, it will fetch all the courses related to technical course type. So type ID 1. So when you select non-technical, it will display all the non-technical courses. It will fetch from courses table, that is type ID 2. How to write the code for this? I'll explain you. First you need a db functions dot of php file. This one is for connecting to databases, and get php file. This one is for when you select the course type, it will fetch the courses from the other table, second table. So this is a code for that, and this is the index page. This is a front end GUI. So here this is the basic things, HTML and script. Here we have used jQuery to fetch the values when you select course type. So you need to include this script file, okay. This will take from internet, so you can download and you can keep it in your directory and you can use. And this is the title of the page, and here db functions, what and all db functions I'll write. So I'll require this page db functions class inside this index.php file. So you can use all the functions whatever written in this db functions class. So require once db function.php. So here this page will include into this index.php file. So you can this is a class, so here no, this is object oriented way, so you can create an object of that class. db handle is an object, and new db functions is creating the instance of that db functions class. And this is a jQuery, I'll explain you later. So just create a front end, and here I have taken a table. Inside that table row, you can see here this is a table, and this is a first column and second column, second row of first column and second column. So in first row, course type, this is a label I have taken, and this is the second column of first row. So you have to write like this: select, this is a drop down box, select course type, and ID I have taken same as name. You can take different one also. And on change, when you select the course type, it should pop up in the second drop down box. So this one is on change. This is on change. When you change the value, you should get, it will call get courses method of this one JavaScript method, and here it will pass the value, whatever value you have chosen, that value it will pass to that get courses method. So here, to display values in first drop down box, that is course types, you have to write a query equals select star from course types. This is a table from this course types. These are the values. So course types results equals db handle is the object of that class, and run query is the method. So to separate queries in this class db functions, here how I'll explain you how it will run. The flow will go. First you have to declare the variables like hostname, user, password, and database name. Which database name? Here we are using the WAMP server, so by default WAMP server will take password null password, and it will call the function two underscores and construct. This method by default it will call when you included this page, it will execute this method. So inside this method, $con variable equals this dot dbconnect, it will call dbconnect method. So inside dbconnect method, it will call the built-in method mysql connect. So it will connect to the mysql by using these parameters: hostname is localhost, and user id, username is root, and this is a by default username, and password is null. So it will connect to the particular database. This function is for just connecting to database. And here if connection is not executed, then it will skip this process. Select database. To select database, you need a connection to MySQL. So if connection object is not null, then you are calling the select db method. So select DB method will select the particular database. Here you are passing the database name as parameter and connection string. This is a connection string. So these two parameters we are passing. So here it will select the database. So you are mapping to your database now. After that, this is a function run query. So this function will execute the query. Here you are passing the query as a query string as a parameter. So result equals MySQL underscore query. This function will execute a query, and here it will return the result. So that results you are looping here and put MySQL underscore fetch underscore associative. It will return the associative array. So that will store in row object. So here this array result set array, you are storing the values, whatever retrieved values you are storing into this result set this one variable, array variable. So if it is not empty, then you are returning this array object as a value. Okay, so run query. Here you are passing this query parameter. So that query parameter will go to this run query method and it will execute the values, and it will retrieve the values from database. There are two values now in this table. So technical and non-technical, these two values it will fetch and it will return as an array object. So that array object will store into this results variable. Here we are using for each loop. So for each loop, whatever values are there in results, it will put it into this courses types array variable. This one is a temporary array variable. So here there is a loop here to here. So inside this is a PHP code and this is a HTML code. So this is HTML code. So for this HTML option value, options means the drop down values. So here we are putting the value as course type ID, and just it will display label as course type. Course type is a name, non-technical or technical. And here when you select technical, it will pass the ID. It will pass the value of that option, means ID of course type. See here when you see, and here drop down. This is just label, second table row, just row table. This is a first column, just a label course name, and this is a second column. In second column, just display select courses and ID. Here ID is important because select courses, and this one is if you return also okay, if it is not written also okay. You can put it in other class. Here courses is important, ID is important. So when you change the values in this first drop down box, it will call get courses method, and it will pass the whatever values you are selected, this dot value. So here function get courses value. So here it will pass the value. This is Ajax function, and the through post method it will pass the value, and it will call the get courses dot php method, and it will pass the ID. Course type ID is a value, whatever value you have selected, that value it will pass as the course type ID value. So this value will go to this courses.php, get courses.php. Here also you are including db functions.php to execute the function, and here you are creating the object of that class db functions, and here course type ID. Course type ID means whatever when you select the value, it will pass the parameter. It will pass as a parameter, course type ID as a parameter. So here that ID it will pass to this method. If it is set, then only it will execute, otherwise it will display only select course. After this, if it is not empty, then it will queries like this: select star from courses where course ID is this one, and this is the method value you have passed from this one index.php through a jQuery method. Here, and result equals db handle object of db functions class and your run query. run query is the method function, and you are passing the query, so it will execute this one and it will return an array. Array means here it will return values of these courses and whatever id will pass. If it is id is 1, then it will pass these as the array values, array elements. So that values will come here in results variable. So here we are using for each loop and we are putting into options values. So here this is the course id as a value, and this is a label as course name as a label. So this value will go to this function inside data. So here where this is id, inside this phase html page, it will pass a html value as this data as a html value to this courses id. Wherever you declare this courses id, it will find in html phase where this courses id is located. Inside that it will load the data, whatever it will return here, whatever the data is returned here, that value will display here. So here when you click on technical, select the value technical or else non-technical, it will call to dv function method, and here on when you change the value, it will call to this method get courses method, and it will get the values and it will set the values to this one without reloading the page. This is jQuery and Ajax method. As a developer, this one is important, this one technique and important step also. Okay, thank you for watching. For more audio video